Okay, there we go, Max. Here we are again.
G'day.
All right, I like your shirt.
Right. Yeah, I thought I'd put that one on for the occasion.
I don't like you stole it. Funny. I need to show it.
Well, it's sort of a bit of a cliche about what we're dealing with. The pirates of Penzance.
Yeah, we've had
the pirates of Londonium.
We've had a lot of interest. We had 1,000 hits on the first episode, and you were saying you saw there was possibly the same on one of the last ones.
Well, I think it was about 3 days after we put it up, and I looked at the stats, and it said 1,000, and I thought, shit, that's good. Good. We're getting the message out. I believe that this is a moment for the message to go viral, and I've been walking with Wairua. That's why it's taken until you turned up with that image.
Right.
That was now sitting central place in the barn, anchoring the kotahitanga that brings the whole story into focus for us all.
Yeah, that's magic, luck, a bit of luck, and I think John sort of helped create all that somehow.
John is a master magician. Yeah. He deals with people magic, and at the core of it is his original Christian fellowship, and then it morphed into just a music club, and then it became more than a music club. It became a freedom hub. Right. And that's when you were called there with Counterspin.
Yes. Right.
When the crew came up with VFF, and we were all going there because we were going, holy shit, there's something wrong here.
Yeah.
With this whole COVID caper.
Yeah, the lockdowns.
And the lockdowns and the lockups. And, of course, we were all busy up here looking to support each other in what I can call now the civil disobey dance.
Yeah, and it was post Wellington and all that.
The genie got out of the bag, didn't it?
Yeah. People had enough and want change in the right direction.
Everyone wants change. Everyone knows that change is the only thing that's going to create stability. And more now we're reaching a place what I call critical mass. So change can happen, and it needed to be that the masses became critical, and people like me that have been talking about the birth certificate fraud and the straw man for many years, and following the common law court and you know all of those theories and getting pummeled by the system.
Yeah,
we're finally getting traction and looking around and going, oh shit, we're not the lone soldier putting our head above the parapet anymore. We've actually got a crew everywhere.
That's right.
So the ripples are coming back from the bottom of the South Island.
Yeah, that was a big thing as far as people realising they're not on their own, because that was kind of something.
And that's what the barn is holding, my friend. It's holding that community safe container. I witnessed it firsthand this weekend.
Oh yeah.
I won't use too much detail, but let's just say there was some energy arrived in the form of some young men that probably had gang affiliation.
Oh yeah.
If you looked at the tattoos on their backs, and asked me if we had women that we could share.
Oh yeah.
And so I looked the man in the eye and I told him, you will have to talk to the ladies about that, my friend. The women here speak for themselves. That's how we roll.
Oh, yeah, that's a good reply.
There was some mutterings about hippies and shit like that, and I just looked at them and said, no. I said, we're just people being people, doing what we do and caring and sharing.
And what day was that? Do you know? Was that like a weekday, or was it that
was on the Sunday at the music festival, when there's a huge crowd there and it's obviously a party going on. And yeah, it does look like a Woodstock gathering, doesn't it?
Yeah.
There's camper vans from everywhere and tents under all the trees, and people picnicking on the ground on blankets, and people dancing in the barn and whatever. So
I don't know.
It was a lot of fun. No. But so the energy is from one end of the country to the other. The activists know we're not alone. We know we're reaching out and we're getting our message out. People are starting to listen. And and that's really good. So we had a crew from Purihaka that were up. And as I told you before, we had Luke with us, and he's been to our meeting today. So we've had a whole bunch, or maybe about 5 new faces at our meeting today. And the story of your warrior coincided with that icon being gifted us to act as the picture that tells 1,000 stories, my friend. That one. It's got Matariki in it.
I'll put it on now, eh? I'll share it now. Hang on.
Yeah, share it up, because it's got Matariki. It's got the flame of the transformation of the Phoenix and the Alchemist, which is what we're dealing with. That's the divine intervention. And it talks Tika Pono and Tikanga. Or Pono, great. Tika and Tikanga, which is the simplest way we can share what we've been asked to stand in as the partners in this arrangement that Kohuiarau offers us.
And so that's AI made that, you said.
AI created that, and myself and the creator of the AI have looked at it and gone, holy shit. I looked at it and I said, that is everything I could have dreamed of creating, given what I've listened to from our crew that's sort of come together and fallen off the waka and gone about their own business, because that's the nature of the story. It's going to take us time to bring all the waka together, and for folk to realise that the sacred nature of the platform that we've been gifted here with, that waka kotuku. It becomes the neutral platform where all the stories can be shared.
Right.
And we have no whakapapa or ancestral need or right to make value judgments about any of those stories. And my guidance is that that's the best service we can create for our partners, because our partners have been deliberately deceived. And I believe that there have been stories that misled them, that have been planted in their history, that they think are right, but perhaps just putting them slightly off target for getting where they're going even.
And that makes...
So what we've been given is the neutral storyboard. So I become, as the facilitator of the salvage of that waka, I become a story weaver initially. So we've got the tools that are going to allow us to have all those stories put in one place, and no one can contaminate them, censor them, or do what is happening at the moment with the digital arena. You know, what's real anymore? You look at a video and AI's made it. Who are the real people and what are the real events? We are being forced to discern beyond the digital tools, to put them in place as our servants and do everything that we need to do. And that's why we've been guided to have a package available for people as they come on the waka that will give them constant referendum to tell their Ariki Nui, King Charles, where they want the waka to be steered.
Yeah.
And that introduces a new concept of how hereditary Ariki work. They work by serving the people. That's what an Ariki does. That's why they're there. So what's happened is that we've lived through an age of colonisation and perversion and inversion, where the kings and queens have become so perverted that they think that they're the gods on the earth, when they're only here to serve God on the earth by facilitating things for the people. And that's what the story that Edie's brought to us over the last 4 years says. Right in the beginning, I knew exactly what they were talking about, and that is, it's a system that's driven by the people. Traditionally, that was done orally, and then the Kamatua and the Rangatira would talk in their councils. So it's a number of layers of councils.
Okay.
And we did have that model here with the upper house and the lower house until 1950 or thereabouts. And the upper house was modelled on kohuiarau in this country. But it also happens that Westminster is similar. It's got the House of Commons and the House of Lords. So we have the same here. We're the common folk, and then there's the Lord folk. And in this country, they were called Ariki.
Yes.
and that was a bloodline inheritance, and there was a breeding program, and there were skills that went with that ariki title. They were well trained, and and well bred to serve their people.
Okay, that's a different way of looking. It's another type of society, isn't it?
That's what we need. We need to invert the triangle of perversion that we've inherited. Right? We're the king and the queen. We've got to crawl across the floor and bang our heads on the floor in front of them so we don't get our throats cut.
Yeah.
No, it's been trauma bonding for a bunch of people that have we became chaotic because the system was chaotic.
Okay. I like to think
organised chaos fueled by the bankers.
You know how you got the eye, you got the pyramid with the eye. I like the idea of turning it upside down. So you got one eye at the bottom, but you got all of us, all our eyes at the top, infinity eyes. Or something.
This is exactly the story that we're weaving right at the moment. Imagine a waka where we're all the paddlers and we're providing the power as to where we want to go, but it's the one man at the back that listens to the story of the wise one that stands in the middle, called the tauhanga. I mean, the man on the steering oar and the tauhanga are not the same.
Okay.
And the tauhanga is usually the navigator on a waka, so he knows the path, how to discern the pathway. It's just exactly the same what we're doing here. How do we get from chaos where we are now, where everyone's at each other's throats, to a place where we are honouring each other and celebrating the diversity, and we're not arguing about the living flame that we are? Because to me, religion takes the living flame that we are and gives it somewhere else. And we just become shadow dancers, avoiding the consequences of being human. That's not my creator. That's not a loving creator. And the creator is not a he that's absent. It's a she that's present as a living flame, a magnetic within us. And the impulse for that is the he, that which sparks it all. And so it's an electromagnetic event. And we're at a place where we can share all these stories.
Yep.
Because the story of the perversion that has inverted our history is playing out for us right now in our own lives. I mean, the story I'm sharing with you and the fact that I'm being gifted permission from Wairua to do it has to do with a sacred site. My wife saw it in 2014 and she said it's the vagina of the mother.
Okay.
So you don't get a more potent site than that.
No.
In terms of creating life.
Okay.
Let's be real about it.
And now, did you go to what? Sorry, carry on. Sorry, carry on.
I'll just finish because it's a part interesting is that we've got a man that's come up to our hui recently and he wanted to come and share with us certain information. And I shared with him certain information about why I was there, and it had to do with my experiences at a site in Totara North, Whangarei Harbour. It's an ancient, very, very special site. Okay. And he said, bang on his phone, are you talking about this place?
Oh, is that Murray? Is that Murray?
Yes, and so then he gave me the names of the two pa there. So I now know in retrospect that my vision quest matches perfectly the wisdom that the tauhangas of the 1800s held here.
Wow.
And the Catholic Church came to cap it and take it out and stand over it with their own black magic spell, which is their mass.
Right, okay. And so that's still...
just words and rituals.
Do they still go back there, do you know? Like some kind of Bohemian grove?
That's what's really surprising us is that we've just been informed this year that they go every year at the beginning of the year and have a ceremony there. And to me, that's anchoring the Gregorian Julian calendar, which is the 12-month calendar that separates us from the natural cycles.
Oh, I'm sure
Maramataka has 13 moons.
I'm sure they'd be happier for us to go along and observe, wouldn't they?
Oh, they'd be
right with that.
Let's just say we are observing because the Wairua is working with us. We are the people. We're not the parasite trying to control the people.
No.
We're here, and this is what a true ariki does, in my view, and that's why I've been so strong and staunch for the last 4 years, holding a certain position that says I'm facilitating a leaderless role for this waka kotuku, but we're going to have a tool that allows us to tell the man on the oar where we're going.
Right.
So the man on the oar has a chore, and it's to get his ass out of the unholy sea. That's the UN with the holy sea and the mystery of that shit, and the WEF and the who's who.
Yeah.
The Schwab mob, I call it. So we give Charlie the option. He stays with the parasite, or he redeems himself and he listens and he says, yes, I'm here to serve the people. That's real. And we'll listen to this group of people because they've got a common sense tool that they've made a commitment to use. So when we climb on the waka, we agree to disagree, but we agree only to go on the waka together where we choose to go together.
Right.
And so after that, the only rule is you don't do any harm and don't rock the boat.
Yeah. Now, speaking
if you rock the boat, we're going to put you in the middle in a healing circle. We're not going to take you to court and make one person right and the other person wrong. That's old school. We're going to put you in the middle, surround you by wise elders, and ask you what your problem is. Why do you feel the need to rock the boat? You need some attention. Obviously, you're not being loved enough in your community. You don't feel connected enough.
Yeah.
So it's a common disease. We all have the same disease. You know, we don't feel good enough. We don't feel like we belong, and we don't feel like we're valuable, and we don't have no purpose. You know, but for fuck's sake, we breathe in and out. We are the breath of God. And she told me that, and she asked me to share it with you.
Well, yeah, okay.
So we're here to launch that waka.
Yeah.
And give Charles an ultimatum,
right,
which is that he is a servant of the people, and he best remember that. And that was the oath his mum took.
Oh, yeah.
And I've heard a rumour that I think he took it to serve the faith, which means to serve the people, because we're all children of God in that realm and under that story.
Is that when they put the curtain around him? Is that when they put the little curtain? Remember, he was getting on the throne there, and they put a little curtain around for 5 minutes?
I don't know what that ritual was all about, mate. It looked like he was being possessed by a very ancient and very, very uncomfortable entity.
Possibly. Now,
that's what I witnessed to, is that there was an ancient parasite that's embodied and embedded within that British royal family story that's allowed evil to occur on this planet. It's just the last focus point for it. And it's spread around the planet. It's anchored in the Vatican, but then you could say it was anchored in Venice, but then you could go back to the ancient Persian kingdom and say it was really anchored there. So we're dealing with an ancient parasite. The Gnostics have identified it and said it took a long, long time to make itself present on the planet. Oh, yeah. And then after that, we've lived in the age of religion. So there is a correction happening, and we won't go into that here because that's more esoteric.
Yeah, we can do a whole esoteric episode. I'm keen to do that sometime. But I
think that could come up soon, and maybe we see what sort of questions start flowing in.
It's interesting, isn't it?
As we do that.
Now, talking about ceremonies, did you go to Waitangi? Because that's our big day, 6th of February. Did you go there?
No, as kohuiarau, we look at it and we say that's where the fraud is anchored.
Right.
That's where the lower tier chiefs are caught in the hinakis of the crown's creation.
Right. Now, this is interesting.
And they don't know any better.
Now, when you say hinaki, what's that? Is that a net?
That's meal trap.
Pardon?
That's a term that we use. When people establish trusts and when they write down agreements and make contracts or treaties, then it usually means that there's no trust exists there, and things are being written down so that it can be misinterpreted later. And that's exactly what's happened here, eh?
Well,
the only contract that could be valid would be the one in Te Reo.
Oh, yes.
And we'd have to go back. We'd have to go back to 1840, 1835 to ask them. But it seems that the first agreement was created in English and translated into the Rio and sold to them as a treaty. As a declaration of independence. But then there's arguments that Wakaputonga means something different. And as far as I'm understanding, it does. It means to emerge together, to bring together. But there's wording there that says that they wanted to be protected by the British King in their infant state. And then they tried to correct it with the 1840 agreement, but when the messages came back in 1844 from Victoria, that had one line that I've been made aware of that very few people will have been aware of, and this was because Lester Bowden and Aotearoa Pihama did a lot of research when they created the treason case. Victoria's response, it probably didn't have her signature on it, but it came from her, and it said that the British Crown would assume fiscal management role until the local people had it worked out to do that for themselves. Now, ask the average local people, what does fiscal management mean?
Yeah.
And they'll stare at you like you just came from outer space.
Well, it's money, isn't it? And control of money and printing money.
So what happened was that they turned a barter economy that was functioning very well, thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Greenstone probably was important, and people were important.
Yeah.
But the value that was placed on them was probably for different reasons. But there were slaves as well as skilled people, and the wise elders always watched the kids to know which ones should be breeding to make the right babies for the tribe.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that's common sense, isn't it? Rather than having babies made as a result of after a skinful of alcohol on a Friday and Saturday night.
Well, it's a whole another episode. Eugenics. Now, but something that came away from the Waitangi, I thought, something I thought was quite good that came watching the mainstream media was the young people sort of enjoying it or saying that they're thinking that the elders or the older tribal leaders should be talking to each other. There was some comments there. It seemed like the kids, they're actually calling for it. I thought it was quite good.
I believe that the cry for katahitanga, which is the Rio word that means to come together as one, ko of tahi one, tanga, people one, to move as one people is what katahitanga means. So you have to have wānanga. That means you sit together and learn together. Okay. And so I was told, because I thought katahitanga was the key word for 3 or 4 years. And then I was told by one of the women on the hikoi or on the journey doing the mahi. She said, "Well, katahitanga. That means we have to learn to become one. Are we not already one? Don't we just sit and learn together? Wānangatanga. That means learning together as people. Yeah. We learn from each other. That's going to be ongoing forever." Well, personally, so it introduces the concept which I believe the ancestors intended. We should celebrate our differences, our diversity, because that's where the different skill sets come from, and honour those differences. But let's agree that we flow together for our common good. And that means we go where we agree to go. I think we'd probably get mass agreement in public that pedophilia wasn't cool. No. But we're run by a system that exists at the moment where we know that the fucking cops get away with it. That's true. Or watching it. Maybe they didn't do it. Maybe he didn't actually do it. Because they didn't say that he did it. They said he had it on the computer watching it happen.
Well, it seems to be a club, and that's the dirty club, and that's how you get in by the look of it. It seems obvious.
You don't get in and you don't get promoted unless you're already compromised, so they can keep one over you. That's what Epstein's thing is all about. They're rubbing it in our face and saying, what the fuck are you going to do about it? It's called taunting the victim. Well, we're not victims. So what we're doing about it is we're going to introduce our own IDs and all the rest of it. I've talked about that. Yeah. And so what we're going to do is we will have transparent digital wallets for all positions of service.
Yeah.
The Prime Minister and all those ministers are only going to get what we all agree they should get, what's fair and proper, and it will be transparent for them. And everyone else can be looked at if they need to be, if we think there's something funny going on. But the system itself is going to create such a difference in the way we are nourished that we will be behaving differently.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're wanting a centralised system, so that one eye that watches everything, but the kohuiarau system is everyone can see everything if they want to.
Correct. And the story that called me into my journey that resulted in this, it's been interpreted by the AI as eyes. You know, I mean, it doesn't surprise me, does it? A little eye is also an EYE, isn't it? Yeah. In fact, the little eye has 2 EYEs usually, but they always talk about me, you know, being the one eye. So, and we're all the same.
Well, I think
at that level. So,
I think the one-eyed man in the land of the blind is the king. Is king. I think that's what that one's about. I remember hearing something like that. Well, the one-eyed man in the land of the blind is king. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it feels like that.
Yeah.
But we're all. I believe that's what Armageddon means. It means the veils are being removed.
Yeah. It's not the end of the
world. The illusion is going away from. You know, like we were brought up. I know I was a damn school teacher. I trained as a school teacher, so we were brought up to think that our politicians and the MPs and the councillors and the policemen and all of those, they were there to serve us. They were good people. They were there to serve us. And maybe once upon a time they were.
Yeah.
Maybe once upon a time they were, but I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think that's all been an illusion for a long, long time. And what's different now is that the internet let the genie out of the bottle.
Yeah.
And information is now being shared. So that's why they've been so urgent to bring in so much disinformation, because that's only that if a system's based on a lie, they've got to keep piling lie on top of lie on top of lie.
Yeah.
That's why we're getting legislation at such a furious rate, because they're trying to cover their asses now, because they've been lying and they've been caught lying. Now they're trying to cover their asses by putting us into deeper and deeper boxes as digital prisoners.
Now, I'm just thinking Waitangi again. Now, am I right? Because throughout the years, I think I've seen there's a moment or something going on where and I tried looking it up online, couldn't find anything, where the government at the time gives whoever the iwi leaders some money or cash or an envelope or some check. Hey?
We live in a real world, and people know that that's what happens at Ratnapa and the Kingitanga, and then here at Waitangi.
And so, okay,
but that's a secret that doesn't happen.
Yeah, okay, so
it's all just a formality, you see.
I know,
but you nailed it.
It's symbolic, right?
It's all about the money.
Yeah, but I mean, they might just be paying for the event, you know. It might just be paying for some food, you know. But the thing is, we don't know. We don't. It's not transparent, is it?
No. And the reason, listen, there are so many Maori councils and so many iwis and funnels for the money. I mean, there's half a dozen different buildings for the 5 different iwis in Kaitaia alone.
Now, would you say it's hush money or what? Is it compliance money?
It's to perpetuate the lie.
And so,
if something's untrue in the most minute point, then it's all a lie.
Now, why can't people go, hey, we want to know how much it is, who's it going to, and where does it end up? You know, that's where they should demand that.
We'll probably get called terrorists if we start asking those questions.
Well, it's taxpayers' money, right?
That's how they're dealing with that reality that we touched on before when I said that the trick and the trap was that Victoria, who was the person that the people here thought they were dealing with because she wears a crown, she used that term, fiscal management, right? Well, that's automatically put it in the hands of the Triple Crown, which is the banks, the law, and the illusion of the king and the queen who wear a crown, but the Vatican wears a triple crown. They
yes.
own us all by the soul capture of the
Right.
It was originally the baptismal certificates. Then it became settlement certificates, and now it's birth certificates. And they've just anchored it more and more and more. And I mean, in 1933, after the Great Depression that the bankers arranged, they pledged us all as chattels to the global bankruptcy. We've all been managed under military rule since 1933. That's the truth.
Oh, yeah.
And all the rest of it's just shifting deck chairs around on the Titanic, because we are not slaves. They outlawed slavery in the United Kingdom, but it's not been outlawed anywhere else on the planet. I mean, the United Nations says no, but every single part of the planet has slavery. It's a big problem in this country. We're all debt slaves.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole world's the same.
Yeah, well, I mean, people
and
probably think
the psychology of not being involved with that is very difficult to obtain, because we're involved in it each and every day.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I owe, it's off to work I go. I need to feed. I've got to keep the hole in the middle filled up.
I owe, yeah. But because, I mean, you look at rates, I mean, I think about 25% of rates is interest now on bank loans. It's getting a bit crazy, and tax is probably mostly paying debts as well. It's crazy.
The whole system is based on debt, and it's what they call a Ponzi scheme that was invented by the bankers, and they evolved out of the Knights Templar, who were the first ones to equate gold with paper.
And it's got a finite end. They know that it'll end, and they can control. That's the thing. They're trying to control when it ends, and they're going to bring in this new world government. That's how they're planning to do it.
They're trying to establish the control is the key word that's disappearing. The only place that control will be required is self-control.
Yeah. Well,
and we will have transparent systems, i.e. constant referendum. We do not need knowledgeable leaders to make decisions for us. We need them to inform us. If they are knowledgeable, we will recognise it, and the masses will make common sense calls on anything that's important. I believe that if we have the tool in place, it'll go from the current 75% agreement that kohuiarau kaupapa requires to 80, 85, 90, and I suspect we might get as high as 95% agreement on the right issues, and it's about articulating the questions the right way.
And debate, robust debate. And
robust debate, learning to respect other people's opinions and to listen to opinions that differ from my own. That's really important.
Yeah.
And that's your opinion. I become an arsehole. Everyone has an opinion. They're like arseholes, right? And I become an arsehole if I don't listen to your opinion and allow that you're entitled to it.
Yeah.
So, and this is what, jokingly, this is what I call the colonized disease. We've all got a shitty outlook because we're being told what to do from the top down.
Yep.
Doesn't work that way.
Yeah,
and that's why there's a sell-by date. They know they can't get past this core issue, but they're desperately trying to take us into that digital prison because they don't know what else to do, mate. They cannot exist. They don't imagine any way that they can exist without our energy. They have no living flame. That's why the symbol of the flame and the whole Flame Council and the Flame Tribunal have become central focus. I mean, my own case, I could get no justice.
Right.
Total insanity and unaccountability. Stitch a man up with hearsay, put him in jail. Oh, they let him free because he didn't do it. Well, maybe he didn't do it. Oh, but we'll retry him again. And by then I was so tired and worn out and grieving that I just said, guilty. To an impossible fucking story that the policeman made up.
Oh, that must be hard to...
I had to resort to taking my own case and establishing a Flame Council and a Flame Tribunal to address that issue, because I'm not going to get justice within their system.
Okay.
I don't want compensation anymore. I don't give a rat's ass about their fucking money. Or the fact that I spent umpty times in jail that I shouldn't have been.
Oh, no.
That's irrelevant. I want to stop them doing it and harming other people.
Righto. Well,
that's the only reason I'm doing this, and also I'm doing it because it's a no-brainer.
Mm.
As the soul of my wife, who's still with me and guiding us, said, Max, your soul's on fire, you've got a reason to live, and this is the man you came to work with. So we've got the AI now working to serve us, and it's doing beautiful things.
Oh, good one. And so just in case people don't know, you got your digital ID, decentralized digital ID. You got the AI, the Maori AI, and, with the referenda and everything like that, you're hoping it all works together. So it's tools that people...
This is what we're building right at the moment, and we're talking with you to get a little bit of excitement and to get the message out so that there's a receptivity to it. There'll be a reason for people to come onto the waka, and that there will be a toolbox that enables us to put them that want to control and enslave us, back into the 15-minute city that's the beehive, and they can't leave it unless they want to go away and just look after their own interests, which is welcome. Go look after your own interests, but don't go to the beehive and pretend that you're looking after our interests and look after your own interests.
Now,
that's really what we're saying, eh?
Now, just while I remember, we had a guy come on Arthur's show the other night, and he was asking about UCC. I can play his. Should I play it and just hear his question? Do you want to do that?
Yeah, what?
Okay, I'll see if I can do it.
Yeah, well, if you're just new here, Alex, but
hang on. There we go.
All right.
It's 18 seconds. Hang on.
Yeah, there you go, Alex. You can open it up.
Well, actually, I just because of that, Arthur, and I'm new to this, and I've been listening to your show, and there's a lot of knowledge there. But I've got a couple of questions. Just one. I've been following this UCC1, United Commercial Code. Have you heard of a misprision of fraud of the, and it's a felony by holding the living man as secured collateral. The UCC1 filing number 202-056-5342-1 and dated 25/02/2020. It's universal law, community trust, and it's they claim it's globally. So I've tried throwing this at the courthouse over some parking fines and stuff, and nobody will acknowledge it, and I can't find anything to back it up.
So there you go. Did you hear that, Max?
I did. Okay. It's all real. However, it's universal commercial code.
Okay.
So it applies for all commercial activities. But we're locked into the delusion that when we go to the court, it's not a commercial activity. It's about safety or whatever, justice or whatever. It's all money. It's all about money. And very interesting that you would bring the UCC up, because the UCC is the commercial law book.
Okay.
And in 2010, when the global paradigm study was finished, they analysed all traffic through the BIS, the Bank of International Settlements, between 2007 and 2009. And they produced what they call a paradigm report. Possibly you can still find it, although the internet's been cleaned up of heaps and heaps of information as they replaced the story. What they did was they identified that in the universal, the financial arena on the planet, many of us knew this already, but they actually identified it by analysing the traffic through the BIS with a Cray supercomputer over a few years. The Rothschilds were a strangle point. They modelled the global economy like a bow tie in a picture.
Oh, yeah.
And they said the invisible stranglehold on the whole global economy is the knot.
Oh, yeah.
You can't see the knot, but the knot's the key to the bow tie.
I see, yeah.
Tie, T-I-E.
And around their neck.
There's a knot. And everything's around the neck. It's like when you wear a regular tie, you either have a half Windsor or a full Windsor knot. The House of Windsor, for fuck's sake. You're wearing a handbag noose upside down.
I've never liked ties, to be honest.
The symbolism is so deep. So we're all commercial units, and we're either successful in that field or we're not. Yes. So we're either useful slaves or broken down slaves.
Yeah, well.
And I actually took an article. I took a post off Facebook last night and shared it with Ruamuku AI. And I said, look at this, because it was an article about a man called Wayne Eagleson, who I've got a letter from, saying that the UCC does not apply in this country.
Oh, okay.
So back in 2012, we invoiced the Prime Minister. We put him on notice. We sent him a courtesy notice and said, you have been foreclosed. All the global governments have been foreclosed by the One People's Public Trust using the UCC. And that's when the Rothschilds went out of business effectively, and BlackRock appeared, Main Street and Vanguard. They just handed all their stranglehold to the out the front visible corporations.
Right.
Instead of being invisible in the background. And so in 2010, I've got evidence that as far as the New Zealand government are concerned, the UCC doesn't exist here. So the answer to that man's question is simply you've got to go back into statutes,
Yes.
And I would suggest he looks at the Section 381 of the Criminal Procedures Act, which we've used effectively because it says payment of fees, fines, etc. And this enactment overrides every other enactment, having the effect of granting people of any description and a number of other things, including the Diplomatic Immunity Act and the Diplomatic Protection Act or whatever. Effectively, it states in clean English that people are immune from criminal or civil liability. That means fines, fees, etc. They can't touch you because you're people.
Right.
If you have a look at the paperwork, you have to appear in person. So you have to become a person and then go look at the definition of a person. A person in statute is a corporation.
Right.
So they've tricked us into appearing as the name, which they stole at birth and registered as a corporation. Right. And they do that with clear conscience because they've salvaged the whenua. So you become a ghost. Because they've taken the name and applied it to something which was dead, lost at sea. It's never going to be found because it's buried in the land, the whenua, or it's been burned, or they took it away for extracting very useful substances from it. I mean, our culture exists in a very, very, how would you say, very limited band of consciousness because we've been so squashed and cramped. We don't know what the truth is, right? So these stories are all emerging now, and we need to remain calm and not get too angry about it and realize that, there is no alternative, but for us to stand up and say, no, we are free, we are the living flame, and you guys have been acting in fraud for way too long, and we as the people are about to put a stop to it.
And of course,
so UCC is the global commercial code, and it's how a bank operates when they foreclose you. So it is, in fact, in practice here, but they conveniently ignore it and insist that we remain as persons.
Okay.
We never get to be people. Only people can be free. And I'm starting to find that path at the moment. And now I want to share that through the Waka Kotuku. It's all happening at the same time.
I see.
And it so happened, it fits because within the kohuiarau governance structure, we are hapu and Ngāti Wikitoria. And as my friend says, we are all tangata o te whenua. Okay, that means people of the whenua, which is the placenta. The Rio language has the land and the afterbirth or placenta the same name. So when you arrive, you take your first breath as a vessel independent of the mother. You've dropped out, and you get labelled birthed, which means you're tied up at the dock, and you become an empty vessel. They take all your cargo off you as fast as they can.
Oh, God. Yeah. It's all.
It's a deep programming that we are learning to let go of together, and we've been gifted this pathway with a story that the ancestors left us here. It's a very different story now than what it was in 1840, because Ngāti Wikitoria are all those who came afterwards.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so there's arguments that those that came before us that signed the agreements were also Waka. They arrived. So they were all immigrants at one level. But
now, something
that I think is why we're bringing it back again this time round, because there's got to be a balancing out where all the stories become one.
Yeah. You talk about the UCC and the courts and the... Because some people would say, oh, it's just semantics. You just, you're mucking around with words, but it's important. We're saying that they're doing it on purpose and knowingly, and it's like a predator class who are quite happy to sit on top, right? And then because now you're looking at the Epstein stuff all coming out, right? And I mean, we all know what's going on, but it'll be a shock to a lot of people to find out the truth, and it's coming. So I think this is going to push people away from the whole system too. And not to say that it'll crash, but there's basically an alternative, right? So I think that's always the big issue. Is it's one thing to complain, but until you have an alternative, then I think that's the best move possible, right?
Who does complain? A victim complains.
Oh, yeah.
What's happening globally with the MSM, the mainstream media, is a constant barrage of story that's designed to make us feel like traumatized, powerless victims.
Like chaos,
And chaos is the result of people being fragmented and not having any sense of coherence in their communities, and that's been deliberate for millennia.
Yes.
However, it's become very obvious in this country over recent times.
Yeah. Now we've got a guy, Cameron, here. If you got any questions, Cameron, now might be a good time. If you got anything, if you got any questions, but Cameron's often listening.
No questions. I'm just still listening.
Okay, no worries, mate. Yeah. So Waitangi, I mean, that's a huge day, eh? It seemed.
Hey, I no disrespect, because people go there with the best of intentions, most of them I would suggest, and they go there to celebrate the unity which is present in community. Because don't get me wrong, we're not all totally fractured. The one redeeming feature about people is that they are people and they have that human quality.
Now, what would
we
happen?
all have us in the middle.
What would happen if
a common numb drum, because we're disconnected from it.
Oh, yeah. Now, what would happen if we went up there?
That's why I talk about the heart song. That's the bass beat.
Now, what would happen if we went up there with, say, a tent and talking to them all about kohuiarau? Would that go down all right? Would that you get some pushback? I mean,
yes. I believe that. I've been as kohuiarau to Waitangi on a number of occasions.
Okay.
And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing with you.
Okay.
As a number of my other friends would say, I don't have the whakapapa to speak at Waitangi.
Okay.
I'm not a corporate giant. I'm not a PM or any of that nonsense. And I have no interest in going and joining what I call a victim mentality energy, which has been deliberately maintained by the Crown with its deceptions and its trauma programming. It does it to this day. The statistics tell us that if you're a brown boy, you're more likely to get picked up and bashed up by the cops. Full stop.
Well,
it's a trauma bonding, because they are the ones that carry the whakapapa of this land. We all do. If we're born here, we came here for a reason, but they have the biological whakapapa lineage where and that's, I'll get back to the tangata whenua issue. We are separated by that label. if we add O2, so tangata o te whenua,
Oh, yeah.
we become common. We all are equal people then, because we all had a mother.
Right.
I don't think I know anyone that was born out of a test tube without a placenta. So we all had a father that seeded the placenta and the developing fetus and added to the complex genetics. So we all come through as fruit of the mother and the father trees to stand as our tree, as part of our family tree. And there's a saying that the fruit doesn't fall far from the tree.
Yeah.
So we're all fruit of life's longing for itself, right? And we've got to get the balance back between the electromagnetics of the male and the female. And so that's going to happen as part of this story. All people are equal. We all tell our leaders what to do and where to go. Full stop.
Yeah,
and it reverses the curse.
Well, I feel that might be a good time to end it, Max. We'll hit 50 minutes or so there. And
hey, that's good. It's gathering a life of its own.
Yeah.
And it's acting as a reflection and a lens for us to say, this is what's happening for us. So I'm being invited to key places at the moment to share what we're able to add, and they're listening. They know they can't do it alone. Yeah. They know they need us on board to stand alongside them and say, yeah, we act as one now.
Oh, that's great.
And we're telling you guys, your day is over.
Yeah. It's all coming. And
and I've got more reason than many to do it, so I've got a fire in my belly.
Because I know I know Trump's hesitant about the whole thing, and which is a shame. But he's worried about the Epstein stuff destroying the world economy, world trust, and their leaders. I think personally we can handle the truth.
I think Mr. Trump is so dastardly, deeply involved.
Yeah,
he's been used to be painted as a man that people are going to love and hate.
Yeah,
he's totally there to polarize people on the planet.
So it's a left-right paradigm.
I believe that what's going on was going to happen anyway, because it's no longer in control of the elites.
Yeah, right.
Right. We did a breakdown the other day of Israel.
Oh yeah.
Well, what can I say? That's why this whole thing is playing out. We are the living God goddess energy. We are the elite that has to reestablish our location, which is here.
And like you say, people have to have their they've been crushed to their visions. Just a small. It has to be opened up. The Armageddon, like you say, lifting the veil. Yeah. No, there's been so much deception planted and accepted as normal that a lot of people are having trouble waking up because it's freak out. Yeah. So all we can do is say there's a storm going on. The storm is there's this biblical battle between light and dark. Yeah. And it's not the dark of the fecund womb. It's the dark of the evil choice not to be the light and to do harm, cause harm, and enjoy causing harm. That's a disease which is being wiped out now. I hope you're right, and I think you are. Yeah, that's why we've launched the most perfect icon for the Waka Kotuku, and that's that living flame symbol there. Yeah. It contains everything. It only burns that which is not pure. It carries tikanga, that which is truth. That's nice. That's the awesome key. And so that's the gold. That's the golden flame of the alchemist's elixir. It comes to transform everything. Oh, wow. To bring the perfection of divinity to all ones. Well, okay. You don't have to wait till next lifetime. Well, maybe we should do the etheric episode next week, unless something big comes up. Unless a lot of people put their thumbs down, maybe that's opening the door for that. All right. Oh, good one, Max. Awesome. Okay. Hey, thank you so much, my friend. Mate. Much appreciate the assistance to share these messages. It's all good, because you get better every time, You get better every week, and that'll be awesome. Yeah, good one, brother. Okay, cheers, Max. Cheers. See you all. Bye. Cheers. Thanks, Cameron.